I think there are two reasons. One, because I think the new issue market has had a tremendous revival. It feels as if this is the strongest IPO market for 15 years. And secondly, because I think, speaking personally, I'm the main owner of Patisserie Holdings. I sold my shares in Pizza Express a bit too early. I sold Strada too early. And I don't want to sell this business too early. And by taking it public, I can retain most of my shares in the business while still raising some capital for the company. And so I think it's the right answer.
So it sounds like you are still going to be very much driving this company, despite, as you say, offloading some of the shares there. Absolutely.
I'm going to be executive chairman. I will retain most of my stake because I believe we can expand it considerably. We have roughly 80 Patisserie Valeries at the moment. We've had some expert consultants suggest that we could open up to another 250. Which tells me that there's plenty of room for growth.
Yeah, I mean, you're everywhere from, not quite A to Z, you're A to Y, aren't you? It's Aberdeen to York at the moment. Is there really room for 250 more? I mean, you know, you just have to look outside the doors here. There's plenty of places selling coffee and cake, and much of it pretty good stuff nowadays as well. Can you really do that and not dilute the price?
I think central London has a lot of direct competition, but once you go further out, then there are very few people that offer exactly what we do. And if you go to the continent, for example, France or Spain or Italy or somewhere, there are thousands and thousands of classic patisseries offering delicious cakes and viennoiserie like we do. And so I think there is going to be demand.
It's interesting because, of course, Patisserie Valerie is named after a lady called Valerie, and, you know, it's quite a feminine kind of brand in some ways still. There's no men directing.
You mean...
At director level, you don't have any men?
We don't have any women, you mean?
Oh, sorry, you don't have any women. I'm so sorry, I have too much cake.
You are absolutely right, and I'd like to think that in due course we will recruit some more women to the senior level.
Good. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one, of course. In the meantime, as I mentioned, you have recently opened branches in Scotland.
Yes.
Interesting timing, given the independence debate that's rattling on, and, of course, that referendum that comes a bit later in the year. If we see Scotland going independent, how does that impact on your business?
Well, I have to admit we haven't thought through the consequences, and I sincerely hope that they don't vote for independence. But if they do, I'm sure we will cope. I'm sure they'll still love to eat our cakes and drink our coffee. And we'll have to see how it turns out.
Now, of course, the Patisserie Holdings is just one small bit of your... Well, you've got finger in many pies, so to speak. Pardon the pun. Are you tempted to go the same way with some of the others? I mean, it's everything, isn't it, from what sort of car parks and greyhounds to other forms of food and drink as well. Are you tempted to float in any other areas at the moment?
We'll see. I think if Patisserie Holdings works and the market likes it and it's a successful float, then why not? Because I think the idea that the public can buy shares and that the stock market raises capital for industry is what it's meant to do. And so I'm all in favour of new issues and the stock market working effectively, backing British industry.
Pizza Express, Strada, you know, those were very much those brands, you bought them on. What's next then for Patisserie Valerie? I mean, which way do you see it going now? Because, as you say, it's not a quite sort of patisserie, it's not a restaurant, it's something kind of in between.
We're a hybrid,
yeah.
And I think that's one of our strengths. We are open all day. We offer breakfast, lunch, early supper, and everything in between, and that's our strength. And no one, I would argue, does quite the same offering as us. As far as what's next, I think more of the same. We're going to open Patisserie Valerie in lots more places that don't have our products.
And do you regret not being involved in Strada and Pizza Express anymore?
I miss them, but I think, you know, life is a journey and you move on and you find new projects, and I think that's what makes it interesting and exciting.